Hey there, parents. If you've ever struggled to get your teen to see things from a new perspective, you're not alone. It can feel like you're talking to a brick wall sometimes, right? But here's the thing, there's actually a science to shifting beliefs. And once you understand it, you can start communicating with your teen in a whole new way. I'm Andy Earl. After years as a psychology researcher studying adolescent behavior, I now host the Talking to Teens podcast, where I interview leading experts every week about the art and science of communicating with teens. In this video, we're going to dive into the psychology of belief change and explore some practical strategies you can use to help your teen open up to new ideas. Get ready for some aha moments. But first, let's talk about why it can be so darn hard to change someone's mind, especially a teenager. Here's a fun fact. Our brains are wired to resist change. It's called the status quo bias, and it's like a mental security system that keeps us stuck in familiar patterns of thinking. For teenagers, this bias can be especially strong. They're at a stage where they're trying to establish their identity and assert their independence. So when you come along with a new idea that challenges their worldview, it can feel like a threat to who they are. It's like you're asking them to trade in their favorite hoodie for a suit and tie. Not going to happen. So how do we work with this bias instead of against it? That's where our first strategy comes in. If you want to shift your teenagers' beliefs, you need to start by creating what psychologists call cognitive dissonance. This is that uncomfortable feeling we get when we're confronted with information that doesn't fit our existing beliefs. It's like mental itchiness, and it's a powerful motivator for change. Here's how you can create cognitive dissonance in a conversation with your teen. Let's say they're convinced they don't need to study for tests because they're naturally smart. You might say something like, I know you're really intelligent, and I've always admired your ability to learn quickly. I've been reading how even the smartest people need to practice retrieving information in order to perform well on exams. What do you think about that? By acknowledging their belief in their intelligence, you're reducing defensiveness. By introducing new information that doesn't quite fit, you're creating that mental itch that needs to be scratched. But creating cognitive dissonance is just the first step. Next, you need to help your teen see the new information as valid and relevant. Once you've got your teen's mental gears turning, you need to make sure the new information doesn't get immediately rejected. This is where a lot of parents get frustrated. They'll present their teen with facts and figures only to have them dismissed as irrelevant or biased. To make new ideas stick, you need to present them in a way that feels credible and applicable to your teen's life. One way to do this is by using vivid examples or stories. Instead of just throwing statistics at them, share a real-life instance of someone they admire using the strategies you're suggesting. For example, you might say, you know how you love Beyonce? I was just reading an interview where she talked about how she has to practice for hours before every performance, even though she's been singing for years. She said it's the only way to keep improving and staying sharp. By connecting the new information to someone your team respects, you're increasing the chances that they'll see it as valid and worth considering. But there's one more piece of the belief shifting puzzle, and it's a big one. If there's one thing teenagers value, it's their autonomy. They want to feel like they're in control of their own life and decisions. So if you try to force a belief on them, you're likely to get a lot of pushback. Instead, you need to affirm your teenager's autonomy throughout the belief shifting process. Make it clear that you respect their right to make their own choices, even if you don't always agree with them. You might say something like, I know you're the expert on your life, and I trust you to make decisions that are right for you. I'm just trying to offer my support. What do you think about what we've discussed? How does it fit with your values? By framing the conversation as a collaborative exploration rather than a lecture, you're more likely to keep your teen engaged and open to new ideas. So let's recap what we've learned about the science of shifting beliefs. If you want to help your teen open up to new perspectives, remember these 3 key steps. 1, create cognitive dissonance by respectfully introducing information that doesn't fit with their existing beliefs. 2, make the new information stick by using vivid examples and connecting it to your teen's values and interests. 3, affirm your teen's autonomy throughout the process, making it clear that you respect their right to make their own choices. It's like a belief shifting formula. Dissonance plus stickiness plus autonomy equals aha moments. Now, this isn't a magic wand. Shifting beliefs takes time and patience, but by understanding the psychology at play and using these strategies consistently, you can create an environment where your teen feels safe exploring new ideas. Communicating with teens can be a wild ride, but it's also an incredible opportunity for growth and connection. By understanding the science of belief change and using these strategies to talk so your teen will listen, you can help them open up to new possibilities and navigate the challenges of adolescence with confidence. Remember, you're not just shifting beliefs, you're strengthening your relationship and setting your teen up for a lifetime of open-minded learning. That's pretty powerful stuff. If you found this helpful, please like the video and subscribe to our channel for more science backed strategies for communicating with your team more effectively.